So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a size. So all of these are different aspect ratios. What that means is the proportion or the ratio of height to width. That's what we're talking about with aspect ratio. So full HD is 16:9 and is something that you're probably fairly used to encountering. Let's see what other presets we have available to us. So for social, we have some smaller ones. I'm going to pick something fairly small. I'm going to pick this. I'm going to pick this 640 by 480 YouTube. And I'm going to drop the frame rate. So frame rate is the number of images per second, or 30 frames per second is something we associate with live action. I don't really want that. I want this to be quite a bit slower. Let's do 8 frames per second. We can always adjust this if this is too fast. I'm going to hit create. Alright, so welcome to Adobe Animate. What we have showing right now is our stage. A stage is a lot like a canvas if you've ever opened up Photoshop. It's just where you can see what it is that you're actually making. Right now it's a little bit small, so I'm going to hit over here on the right this fit in window. And now I can see what I'm doing a lot more clearly. Down below I have a timeline. So the timeline will allow you to place different frames at different moments in time. So each layer is a transparent layer, and you can place things on top of each other with more and more layers. To add a layer, you'll hit this little plus button here. And unlike just like Photoshop or something like that, you can change where a layer is in time. That's what this timeline is for. Over on the left, we have a variety of tools that we can use to edit our document. Things like paintbrushes, things like eyedropper tools, and we'll get into more depth with that. And over on the right, we have our properties panel and our library. So properties allow you to edit or allow you to change your settings for each tool that you're using. So as you can see, when I change my tool, the properties also change. And the library is where you import new files. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to import those 5 screenshots I took earlier. Up here to File, I'm going to import to Library. And I'm going to go over to the folder that I previously saved my files to. I'm going to import each and every one of these. So you can hold Shift and click everything to import them all. And I'm going to hit Open. Alright, so you can see all of my screenshots have now appeared here in my library. And at the top here I have Untitled 1. That means that my document is not yet saved. However, I have done something. I've imported things, so I want to start saving as soon as I've made any changes to my document. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to call this swan_install software. I want to make sure to save that to my install software folder. So I'm going to save it. All right, we're off to the races. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my lovely screenshot and I am going to just click it and drag it onto my stage. Now you can see that my document is quite a bit larger than my stage. So here's my stage, here's my screenshot. So I zoomed out by hitting Command- on a computer, that would be Control-. And I'm going to go ahead and with my selection tool, I am just going to, I'm going to right click and I'm going to do Free Transform. So if you hold Shift, you'll maintain your proportions. And let's just drop that roughly in the center here. Okay, lovely. So you can see that I have created a frame here. It was an empty circle, now it is a filled circle. So now I want to give myself a chance to put the next thing in, but if I just grab it and drop it on, it'll drop onto the same frame and it's just covering up what I did before. So I'm going to hit Control Z, undo that. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make a new frame. So I'm going to go here to my auto frame insert and I'm going to click and hold that and I'm going to click blank keyframe. And now you can see a new frame has appeared next to my old frame. Now I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to drag and drop and I'm going to use my free transform tool, zoom out a little bit and scale this down to be roughly the same size as my one before. I'll repeat this step all 5 times, so I'll go ahead and create a new blank keyframe and drag and drop. Okay, I'm going to zoom back in, or I can go fit in window. And now I'm going to play this for myself. So I can drag my playhead back to the beginning, and I'm going to play this. I think it's a little fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my frame rate. So I'm going to go over here to the properties panel, and when I have 8, I'm going to drop this down to 5. You can see that this has changed over here. And let's play. This is a pretty good start. I want to add a title screen and an end screen. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. Down here we have our frames, but they're small and they're hard to see. I want to see what I'm doing a little bit more. So I'm going to go over here to the right where I have my resize timeline view. I'm going to scooch this to the right to be more zoomed in. So now I can see my frames and I have a little bit more space to work here. Now I'm going to click on my first frame, I'm going to hold shift and click on my last frame. I'm going to scooch this over 1. And you can see it's created a new little blank frame at the beginning. And now I am going to add my title screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the left with my tools and I'm going to click on this shape tool here called the rectangle tool. And I'm going to click and hold to drag this rectangle over. It's okay if it goes over the edges. The only thing we'll see when we export is the stage itself, or what's actually on the stage. And now I'm going to go a little further down to my text tool, and I am going to type out here introduction to animation software loading. Now I want to change this text color because it's the same color as the background. So I'm going to head over here to the right with my properties panel and I'm going to click on this fill here. I'm going to pick a darker color. I'm going to pick this slate gray. I'm also going to make the size a bit bigger. So right now I have a size of 12 and I think 45 will do just fine. And I'll also change the font here to be something a little bit more my speed. Let's see. I really like this font here. Okay, so I think I want this to just be 2 rows. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this. I've just gone back to my clicker tool and I'm going to drag this out a little bit so that maybe I'll just type, I'll just do intro to animation. So these are the same size. Back to my clicker tool to center this. Right, I'm going to go ahead and Command S to save. Okay, so let us play this out. Oh wow, that introduction did not last long enough for me to read it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of hold frames. I'm going to go over here to my keyframe picker and I'm going to pick frame. This is what's adding a hold frame. So this allows me, I'm going to do one more. This allows me to hold on the same image for as long as I want. So let's play that through. Wonderful. So I like that, but I'm going to do one more final frame. So I'm going to click over here to this frame after everything, and I'm going to add a blank frame there. Blank frame. Okay, great. Now I'm going to flip the text color and the background color from before. So I have the slate gray. I'm going to pick my rectangle, drag this over, and create a little background. And then with my text, I'm going to add pink in here. Ready. Now, how do I make this pink? So one way would be to go back over to my pink over here and use this eyedropper tool to select the pink. Now the pink has appeared. Another way is to actually look at this pink and see what this hex code comes up. So a hex code is just how the computer denotes what mix of red, green, and blue light it needs to produce in order to make this color for you. So this is FFC8CB. So I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to go back to my text here. I'm going to go back to my text code. I'm going to highlight this, and for my fill, I'm now going to change this to FFC8CB. All right, so this is now the right color, and I'll click it and put it in the center here. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm gonna just get ahead of the game a little bit and add some hold frames here. So I'll add 3 or so. And let's play this. I still think we need just a little bit more time to read this. I'm going to add 1, 2 more hold frames there. All right. I think I'm happy with this. I'm going to go ahead and export this. So I'll go to File, Export, Export Animated GIF. Alright, so this flyout panel will appear. So go ahead and take a look at it. You should be able to click on this play button and preview your animation, or your GIF. This is looping forever. And I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to hit save. And I'm just going to call this Swan Install Software GIF. I'm going to put it in my project 1, and I'm going to hit save. So there you go. You've created your first GIF in Adobe Animate.